What up and welcome to the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm your host, Rome Bone. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 88 of the show. And we got slow news. Not much happening this past week. We do got some new music, but I figure I'd go lighthearted this week. Haven't done an episode like this in a while. I'm going to rank some albums. More specifically, I'm going to rank some NATAS albums. Esham, Mastermind, TNT, legendary wicked shit, horrorcore rap group from Detroit, Michigan. One of my all-time favorite groups. Love Esham, NATAS. So I'm going to rank all their albums. I want to thank everybody for the love on last week's episode. Much appreciated. I got a whole bunch of love on that show. And a lot of that shit has been needed to be said for a minute now. And if you ain't heard it and you want to hear my take on basically holding juggalos accountable, go back to last week's episode, peep that shit for more serious discussion. But this week, we keeping it lighthearted like I said. And before we start the show, I want to send a shout out to the homie McNasty for sending in a donation. Meant to send a shout out on last week's show to McNasty, but I fucking forgot. Made sure I didn't forget this week. Shout out to McNasty. That's the motherfucking homie right there. And dude's killing it with his music. Been killing it for the last, almost 20 years at this point. So yeah, let's get into some new music, shall we? Let's get into some new VLNC, also known as Violence, Claas, and Hex Rated of Lyrical Snuff Productions, got a new group called Violence. Like I just said, they dropped the new track, God Shit. Haven't got a chance to listen to it yet. Did hear a preview of it up on Claas's social medias. He's putting up a preview of the track. Sounds pretty dope. Beat sounds fucking banging. Big fan of Claas. Not familiar with Hex Rated at all. Personally, overall, the whole LSP shit, outside of Dark Half, Claas, Liquid Assassin shit when he was still on the label, I'm not very familiar with a lot of their music. But I'll be checking this one out when it drops July 10th. It'll be dropping Claas, Hex Rated, Volume 1, Violence Volume 1. From what I understand, it's a full-length project, not an EP like Claas was doing recently with his upcoming album, dropping EPs in preparation for the album to come out. So from what I saw him post on Twitter, actually, he's very active on Twitter, is this is going to be a full-length project from Claas and Hex Rated. Again, July 10th, dropping. Lyrical Snuff, LSP, staying busy. I'm ready for that Dark Half, that last Dark Half, final Dark Half album, whatever the fuck. Ready for that. Been ready for that. Rest in peace, Gino. Shout out to Scum, Insane Poetry. He's another one I fuck with heavy on LSP. Insane Poetry. Fucking so dope. Other new music. We got that brand new Hopsin. Talked about it a little bit last week because it was supposed to be released on Monday. I don't think it got released till Tuesday. Kumbaya is the new single. I just listened to it before I started the show. And this track's fucking dope. This is Hopsin on his shit talking shit. Love it. Love when Hopsin is shit talking and not being a complete crybaby. Even though when he is being a complete crybaby, shit is still fire. Really digging this track from Hopsin. Beats fire. We need that new Hopsin album. It's been a few years since No Shame dropped. And that was a dope album in my opinion. But Hopsin always brings it. Kills it with the production. Ill with the flows. The only shit I didn't like about this track is when he said when Biggie and Tupac were murdered, it was a tragedy, no cap. But now that I'm back, I can't even remember what he said, but he's fucking talking about being up there with Biggie and Pac, and I don't know about all that. I fuck with Hopsin, but he ain't up there with Biggie and Pac. I ain't even that big of a Biggie fan, but no, Hopsin, nope. Get back into your corner and cry like you like a, like a sad little boy, like you normally do. But yeah, track's fire though. Don't get me wrong. As much as I make fun of him, poke fun, whatever, new Hopsin track is fire. I like his crybaby shit. And formerly of Funk Volume, Hopsin had the Funk Volume label. Formerly of Funk Volume, Jarren Benton. Dude's been on fire releasing singles. He dropped a new one with Demrick called Burn It Down, produced by DJ Hoppa. Fire. No pun intended. Fire track from Jarren Benton featuring Demrick. Beat is dope from DJ Hoppa. I want new Jarren Benton record. Dude stays busy putting out music. But we need that new Jarren Benton album. His last bunch of singles that he's put out have been really, really good. No X's and O's, Church, Origami. Those are the other singles that he's released. And then you got this brand new one, Burn It Down. Really dope track. Highly recommend you check that shit out. And then, again, formerly of Funk Volume, we got brand new Dizzy Wright and Demrick album. Demrick again. If you don't know Demrick, underground dude, he's been doing, this is his second project with Dizzy Wright. He also has a project with Exhibit and Be Real called Serial Killers. That shit was pretty dope. I'm not big into Dizzy Wright, so I never even checked out the first Blaze With Us album. This is Blaze With Us 2, Dizzy Wright and Demrick. Haven't heard this one yet, but it's out there. Funk Volume, or artists formerly of Funk Volume, staying busy this week, dropping new music. Like I said, that new Hopsin track's fucking fire. We need new Hopsin album to come out like ASAP. Shit is really dope. And Jarren Benton as well. Definitely check those two tracks. And if you're a fan of fucking Demrick or Dizzy Wright, peep that new Blaze With Us. I like seeing those old Funk Volume cats staying busy. I even seen Swizz, the wackest dude from Funk Volume. He be saying he's gonna release new music. Dude releases like a song a year. And I don't think anybody really even gives a shit. Because I don't think anybody gave a shit when he was on Funk Volume, when Funk Volume was still a thing. Did you give a fuck about Swizz? I know I didn't. Anyway, we got brand new Lex the Hexmaster this week. Yeah. Party Castle drops this Friday. Part 1 of a 4 EP series that he's doing. We got this new track, Sleep at Night, featuring HB the Grizzly or some shit. Let me look it up. Yeah, HB the Grizzly, the only feature on Party Castle. If you go up on iTunes, you can see the full track list for Party Castle episode 1. It's 7 tracks with an intro. And of the 7 tracks that have been released, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's actually 6 songs with the intro. 4 out of the 6 songs, count them fucking 4. Like 80% of the album has already been released. That's super whack. Release a track or 2 for an EP and call it a day. Do not release 4 songs off an EP. And they did that shit with the Axe Murder Boys Fatality EP. They released like half the EP before it came out. Kind of kills the vibe. They did the same shit with Twisted's Mad Season, but I think that Mad Season album was kind of like a last minute thing. And, it still works the way the flow of the EPs and albums go, but it just sucks hearing all these tracks before the project is even released, and you're hearing 75, 50, or in this case, Lex the Hexmaster's Party Castle episode 1, like 80% of the fucking album, EP, whatever, before it's released. I did listen to the track, HB the Grizzly. I don't know who the hell this chick is. She sings her fucking ass off, though. I was scared it was going to be a female rapper. I'm sorry. I'm just not a big fan of female rappers. But this girl sings her fucking ass off, and this song is really good. And I got to give it up to Lex the Hexmaster, because the 4 songs that he has released for this EP have been all fucking fire. Chill Mode, Sleep at Night, Hypnotize, The Count. all really dope tracks and not really on that boom bap shit like I've been calling for Lex the Hexmaster to be on. But damn, these tracks are sounding really good. I actually went and binged a bunch of Lex's shit over the weekend, the mixtapes. You know, I'm a big fan of Mr. Ugly Part 1, Part 2, the Shadow King mixtape, Lex the Hexmaster and the Unholy Trinity, in my opinion, his best project that he's put out. And that was more on that boom bap shit. Love that EP. But I went back to his albums Contact and Beyond Redemption. And Contact is like half good and Beyond Redemption is like a third good. And the biggest problem with Beyond Redemption is the mix on it. The mix on it was terrible. Very bad. But the mix on these new tracks from Lex the Hexmaster off Party Castle Episode 1 sound good so far. I got the hard copy coming in. Hard copies are already being shipped. I think mine's expected to arrive on Tuesday, so I'm going to have it a few days early. Definitely looking forward to that shit. Hearing these tracks in order and the rest of the EPs. He got 3 more EPs coming out after this. I wonder if they'll drop all this year. He's still got another 6 months to do it. We'll see. And another thing with Lex the Hexmaster, I didn't really mean to go off on like this whole tangent about this dude. But this dude is busy as fuck. Dude's put out 8 projects since 2015 or 16 when he dropped the Black Season EP. This dude is the busiest dude on Magic Ninja by far. He's got all those mixtapes, the EP, the Strictly for My Ninjas tape. Like, this dude puts out a shitload of music. He was even on the Year of the Sword project, fucking the Riders project. Dude is the busiest dude on Magic Ninja. And I didn't even really realize that till I grabbed all the physical CDs. And I'm like, damn, I got a stack of fucking Lex CDs. And this dude's only been putting out music for like 4 years. So that is dope. Shout out to Lex for fucking staying as busy as he does. Give us another Mr. Ugly mixtape or a Shadow King mixtape. Something like that. Over other people's beats. Dude rapping over like Mobb Deep and old school 50 Cent from like '02. Fire. Love those mixtapes from Lex. But Party Castle drops this Friday. New track is banging featuring HB the Grizzly. And it sucks that 80% of the album has already been released. New music from Ouija Macc. Another motherfucker that stays busy as shit. Ouija Macc. He dropped a new track with NVTVS. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Whatever it is, but it's spelled NVTVS. Track is called Duffel Bag. Dope ass artwork. Dope ass track. Never heard of this other dude, but it's an ill track. You know, it's that dirty trap shit that you know from Ouija Macc. Fire. Ouija Macc brings it on here. The other dude brings it on here. Kind of reminds me of like a Bones or a Scrim when Scrim does that deep voice. But I'm digging this track. Love the artwork. And I'm loving that Ouija Macc staying as busy as he does. And Ouija Macc didn't even drop just one, but he dropped 2 tracks this week. Second track that he dropped with Triz. You might be familiar with Triz. I know he's done shit with Brother Lynch, I think. He's like Brother Lynch's nephew or something like that. I know he's related somehow to Brother Lynch Hung. But he dropped a track with Triz called Darker. This track is fire. So dope. I didn't know when I first saw Ouija Macc being featured on a track with Triz, I was like, whoa, 2 completely different styles. If you've ever listened to Triz's shit, he's more of a traditional West Coast hip-hop artist. And Ouija Macc is just that SoundCloud rap type shit. But yo, this track works really well. Triz fucking kills it on here. Ouija Macc on the hook and on his verse. Fire. Ouija Macc staying on fire. That Resistance 2 Hell's Hollow tape. Peep that shit out. He's got another mixtape dropping apparently sometime soon before the actual Wasteland album. That the Wasteland album is just being resisted on being released. But that's okay, because if he keeps putting out fire-ass music, I don't really even give a fuck. And Ouija Macc is on a roll right now, staying consistent, staying putting out dope music. It sounds like he's got his engineering shit figured out because these 2 features that he did this week sounded really good as well. So shout out to Ouija for these 2 new tracks this week. Fire. And then last little bit of news before we get into the NATAS album rankings. Buckshot posted up on Twitter late last week. He added Boondocks, Turncoat Dirty. He said, "Can you tell me something that's hotter than the 4th of July?" Boondocks replies, "Hell's Kitchen." And then Buckshot replies, the eye looking over emoji, if you're not watching on YouTube. We could be getting the follow-up to Hell's Kitchen. Someone said that the Paradigm Shift was the follow-up to the Hell's Kitchen tape. I don't know. Only because the Hell's Kitchen was them being Frank Castle and I can't remember the other name. But it seemed like just a completely different theme. It was like Marvel characters again, whereas the Paradigm Shift was Transformers. I don't know if you'd really consider that the follow-up to Hell's Kitchen. I could be wrong. I don't fucking know. But that Hell's Kitchen tape was fucking pretty dope, rapping over those old school death row beats. And I'm not the biggest Boondocks or Buckshot fan, but their last 2 projects really fucking solid. I can't front. That Paradigm Shift, they were doing that shit again over the jacked beats. That shit over the Bow Down track with Light and Ant, I think his name is. I feel bad for not remembering, but that track is fucking fire, that Bow Down track. I'm going to look it up real quick just so I get that dude's name right. Because he killed that fucking hook. Without a doubt. Ant G, that's who it is. He rolls with Light. And that Paradigm Shift project was really dope. I got the review up on my channel, YouTube channel. If you ain't peeped it, go check that shit out. If you're on the fence on that Paradigm Shift project, I enjoyed it. And that Bow Down track is one of the illest tracks dropped this year, even though it's over a jack beat. But that shit was fire. And let's get into a fucking album ranking real quick before we bounce up out of here. Haven't done one of these in like 5 months, I believe, according to my YouTube channel. And the last one I did was ICP's Insane Clown Posse's EPs. Beverly Kills, Terror Wheel, Tunnel of Love, The Calm, what else? The Phantom EP, all that shit. I did all their EPs. I've ranked Esham's albums, so it's only right that I rank NATAS albums, one of my all-time favorite groups. Esham, Mastermind, TNT, rest in peace, TNT. Without Esham, without NATAS, you wouldn't have the wicked shit. Point blank period. We've talked about it on the show a bunch of times. You wouldn't have the wicked shit that you have today. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't, but it wouldn't have got the jump start that it did without Esham and NATAS, without a doubt. The innovators, the pioneers, they put out so much classic material. And let's get right into the rankings. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 albums to go through. So coming in at number 8, and this is actually the only project. I don't even know if I've listened to this. I can't remember if I listened to it when I got it or not. So I can't even properly rank this album, but I'm going to put it at the bottom. Anyways, is Fuck Everybody. Is their last project that they did 2014, 6 years ago. I think TNT was only featured on 1 track on here. TNT at that point had pretty much said fuck rap. And this was their last project. Mastermind and Esham have said that another NATAS project won't happen because because TNT is no longer here. So coming in at number 8, NATAS, Fuck Everybody, the hard copy. Looking at the track list, none of the tracks even ring a bell. So if I did listen to it, I don't remember it, but I got to put it at the bottom because it is what it is. And then from here on out, I like the rest of these albums, but just some a little more than the others. And then coming in at number fucking 7, Life After Death, the very first album that they put out in 1992. And if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this as a podcast on Spotify, I'm showing the actual CDs in the video. And if you'll notice throughout the whole thing, a little brag real quick, I got all the OGs, all the OG RLP pressings for all this shit. So a little pat on my back for that. But coming in number 7, Life After Death, their debut album, 1992. You got tracks on here like Dance, Fire Track, Get My Head Together, Hellraiser, Rocket Deadly's good track, In the Name of RLP, Dancing on Your Grave. My least favorite NATAS album, there's a bunch of tracks on here that I do skip, and the sound quality on this is very poor. Although the remastered version that came with the box set highly improves the sound quality, still doesn't bring that much life into it for me. So number 7, Life After Death. Coming in at number 6, NATAS, End of the World. Put out 2006. This was put out right after Isham had left Psychopathic Records. And Mastermind was only featured on one song on this album. Isham and Mastermind were beefing. From what I understand, there's actually like 3 or 4 tracks that Mastermind cut vocals for, but Isham only kept the vocals on End of the World. And this album's really good, in my opinion. I love this album. It's mainly Isham and TNT, but you got tracks like Once Upon a Time, Dead Man Don't Sing, On My Own, that Jimi Hendrix sample, fire. Love that track. The title track, End of the World with Mastermind's dope. Why You Gotta Lie, sampling Metallica, guitars, and Run DMC drums on there. But this album, End of the World, really dope album. Fresh cover art as well. So coming in at number 6 is End of the World. Number 5, Godlike. I've seen a lot of hate. My homies over there at the Speak It Cloud podcast do not like Godlike, as they do not like Tongues. And I love these albums. So dope. I like this. I like Tongues better than Godlike, but this is a solid album. I actually bumped this recently because I think it was an album anniversary recently. But you got tracks like the production on here is kind of like a mixture of Wicked Worldwide and Tongues, just really hard, some kind of like off the wall, crazy shit. But tracks like Godlike, fire. When Will I See Your Face Again? I love that track. Love the hook. Get Mo Cheddar, fire. Halitosis, Can Get Killed for This, fire. Tonight, When You Hit Your Lows, See Through. See Through is one of my all-time favorite NATAS tracks. I don't give a fuck. Love that song. But this is a solid-ass album, in my opinion. Love Godlike. Coming in at number 5. And then these top 4 albums, man, like, it was hard ranking these top 4 albums. And I'm still kind of iffy, and I might change number 4 right now as I'm looking at it. Fuck it. I'm going to keep it in the order that I got it in. This is tough, because this album is so fucking dope, and it's so slept on, in my opinion, as far as a NATAS album. You got Multi-Killionaire, The Devil's Contract. Fire. This was put out during the Bruce Wayne Gotham City 1987 era. 1997. I got that OG with the purple and green case. Fire. This, when you listen to it, the mix isn't as clean as Bruce Wayne. And I almost want to call it a mixtape just because the way the album sounds, the shit they're rapping about on here. A lot of fucking like gangsta shit on here. Get Money shit. A little bit of wicked shit on here. The production, some of Isham's best production on Multi-Killionaire, The Devil's Contract. Fire. Love this album. Be Careful What You Wish. One of the illest opening tracks ever. Love that track. Baller's Envy. Mo Battis was on this album too. Mo Battis was like the unofficial 4th member of NATAS during this time, and dude was fucking killing it. I don't give a fuck. Mo Battis was ill. All My Dogs, Walk on Water, All Praise Is Due, Distortion, Price on Your Head. Like, just, I love this album. Multi-Killionaire is such a fire album from NATAS. These top four, I just love all four of these albums to death. Love them. All of them I consider classic. But let's get it to number three. Number three, Blasphemy. I was flipping back and forth of what 3 and 4 would be between Blasphemy and Multi-Killionaire. But when this got, I always liked this album, but when it got the remaster with the box set and it just sounded a million times better, it just made me love this album so much more. A lot of fucked up shit on this album. As Isham and NATAS were rapping about during this time, 1993. You got to figure 92, 93 was when they probably rapped a lot of their most controversial shit. You had Judgment Day dropped, Life After Death, Blasphemy, Kill the Fetus. A lot of controversial shit was said on these records. Even the tracks, like you got the track on here, He Raped Me, fucked up. But you got ill fucking tracks on, like not one bad song on here, in my opinion. Back in That Ass for Another Fuck. I'm about to do some dirt. Wet Pussy on Saturday Night. Fucking Get My Dick Out Your Mouth. Fire. Stay True to Your City. A Friendly Word to You Suckers. A View to a Kill. Killers Don't Talk. Solo TNT. Fire. Fire. TNT is mad underrated. Not the illest rapper, but just so dope. And it works. He works so well with Mastermind and Isham in NATAS. Down Since Day One, Blasphemy, and Booyah. The last two tracks, great way to end this album. Love the production on this album. It's kind of a mixture of Judgment Day and Kill the Fetus going into Closed Casket era. That's the kind of production it reminds me of. Fucking fire. Love this album to death. The remastered version that comes with the box set is so dope. And if you don't have the box set, I highly recommend you drop that $90, especially if you're a NATAS fan, because the remasters of Life After Death and Blasphemy and the bonus DVD that you get with it are well worth the $90 for that box set. So get that if you ain't got it. And then coming in at number 2, Do You Believe in God? I understand, and I know why this is a lot of people's favorite album from NATAS, and a lot of people's favorite album just in the wicked shit horrorcore world. Acid rap, call it what you want it. And I don't blame anybody for saying that. You know, this album is amazing. The production on here, 1995. This was going from the Closed Casket era into the Dead Flowers era. This is really like, Closed Casket was Isham's last wicked shit album that he put out for a bit, because he went and did that like Get Money Gangsta shit with Dead Flowers. But this right here was the real last wicked shit album that he dropped in that era. The production on here is so good. The title track, Do You Believe in God? Fire. NATAS. Pop Pop. Like, every single song on here is super dope. Torture with Dice. Not the biggest Dice fan. I think his album from Real Life was overrated. The Neighborhood Shit Talker. I know people love that album. I'm not a big fan of it. We Almost Lost Detroit. Heaven. Fuck heaven. Fuck heaven. Fuck heaven. Fuck heaven. Ah. Love that. Scream. Fuck the World. TNT. Kills it. Sunday School. I don't want to go to church. Love it. Mad at the World. Prophylactic Tactics. No Fault Insurance. Great album from Isham, Mastermind, TNT. And I'm not mad if you put this at your number 1 at all, because it's such a classic, such a banger. And that leaves only one left, coming in at number 1. I got 2 copies of it, both pressings, wickedworldwide.com. And I'll show both pressings off. This was the first pressing that they did before they got the deal through TVT. has the red lettered font on the front and the back. And then once they signed to TVT, they re-released Wicked Worldwide with the purple letters. I actually like the purple letters better than the original cover. And it came with a bonus disc, which featured We All Die, Morty's Theme, Multi-Killionaire, and I Wind, which was an unreleased track at the time. And this is actually the first NATAS album that I heard, that I bought. It was the only one I was able to find in the stores until TVT re-released all the old NATAS albums. I had them all on cassette. I even had some on CDs that I sold so I could get all the OG copies, the real life production pressings. I did a review with Speaky Cloud Podcast, Mike Sears, Ross Hartley on the Speaky Cloud Podcast. I'll leave a link in the description of the YouTube video and on the podcast, so you'll be able to access it from wherever you're listening to it. I'll leave a link for it. It was a great review we did for such a classic album, if you ask me. This made it into the Source magazine. Like, they got a lot of press for this album. I think it was ranked as one of the best albums from 1999 in the Source or XXL. Can't remember off the top of my head. But they got coverage on MTV for this album. Whole bunch of shit. And that's how I actually found out this album was even out, was when I saw it on MTV. Fucking Kurt Loder talking about it, of all people, talking about NATAS. But such a classic album. The first NATAS album I ever heard. I hold this album fucking close to my heart. Tracks like Telly Savalle. Telly Savalle's Fire. Kill Me, the solo Mastermind joint. Like a Spirit. Cyberkill. Football. Metropolis. The Truth. Party People. www.com. Funeral Parlor. I See Dead People. I See Dead People. Like, the biggest. Let It Flow. Virgin Mary. TNT got one of the illest lines in my opinion, one of my favorite lines anyway. He said, TNT, the motherfucker with enough game to make the Virgin Mary suck dick and stash cocaine. Love that line. Love that track. That beat is fire. Bite It, Cancun, Motivate. I can listen to this album straight through without skipping a track. Absolutely love Wicked Worldwide from NATAS. #1 album. And that's it. That's going to wrap up the rankings for NATAS albums. Such a classic, iconic, legendary group coming out of Detroit. Innovators of the horrorcore wicked shit. And let's run through it one more time. Number 8 was Fuck Everybody. 7, Life After Death. 6, End of the World. 5, Godlike. 4, Multi-Killionaire. 3 was Blasphemy. 2 was Do You Believe in God? And number 1 is wickedworldwide.com. Fucking fire. Love NATAS. Shout out to Ishan Mastermind. And rest in peace, TNT. And I'm Rolling Bone to the Beneath the Dirt podcast. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.